Welcome back, everyone. We have our final series of the night. This is going to be Grizz Maroon versus GCU Purple. Both of these teams 1-0 currently, but Grizz Maroon, the only teams in their specific West B conference for Division 3 have dropped a map that have won. The other three actually went 3-0, Shibby. So technically, they're in fourth place in the standings. But you can recognize some of the names here. We've seen Grizz Maroon before. So Breu, Fox, Olive, Neonara, who is actually an intern for Marvel Rivals this semester for NECC. Shout out. Kind of good salsa, cool dog beans, Dardigan, and OEL, I believe that's how you say that one. I could be mispronouncing it. Please let us know if that is the case. But yeah, some great players on this one. Of course, they have different names that they're going by for this. And then on the other side, GCU Purple, Giamura, Rainfall V2. I think that's Anti. Asuk, Sneaky Raptor, and Agent Alpha.
It's a toss-up. My favorite name, Attorney Cheeks or Sneaky Raptor. One of the two. Yeah. I think Sneaky Raptor. Sneaky Raptor is like a very old school kind of. That's like an Xbox Live.
Your favorite map, Shibby.
I can say I hate this map on this broadcast. I can't say it on the official Marvel Rivals. I'm gonna be a little bit more liberal here.
T'Challa.
Diverge a little bit. We do get burned in T'Challa. It's so funny. We were on the main broadcast, last weekend, and CV goes, "Oh, your favorite map?" And I just had to grin there, like, "Yeah,
you said the grimace map. Like, yeah, it's my favorite map."
Yeah, my favorite map of all time. Yeah, I'm so glad that's gone. Burning T'Challa, though, a map we just saw. I feel like that first map specifically is kind of tough.
Ooh.
One where.
Ooh. I like it. See, this is where we're getting into the weeds of the current meta. Banning Vanguard pool immediately. Are we going to get the Gambit ban from Grizz Maroon? Olive saying no. Yeah, that was definitely an Olive target.
Olive. Yeah, that sounds like Olive.
Like one above all Vanguard mains. So it makes sense. If someone's going to play it, it would be Olive. It's probably going to be banned every time that GCU Purple can go for it there. So makes a lot of sense. We saw Olive actually playing in the J3 Community Clash. They were on a team with Kurova and Flamme during the Open Qualifiers, and then they were on Team Momo for the main event with Yusher, Logan, Shroomy, and Pick and Roll, and Pirate King Momo, of course, there. Unfortunately, they didn't do as well as they would have liked during that. It was kind of a pickup team towards the end, but they took 2 maps off of Moshimon, who went to the finals, so solid showing there. Gotta give the shout out as I can. Saving the thing, though, probably locking that in for that Vanguard line as best they can. Loki also secured because Loki has been so banned so often in the highest levels of competition. So you want to get that locked in if you can and not have to worry about it being banned for your backline.
Yeah, Olive, I think, regularly scrims as well. So she's been just like really, really in the high level of competitive, and I'm not surprised. I believe everybody that's at least one above all or scrimming in pro play is picking up Vanpool, if not playing it. We saw a lot of it in the tournament last weekend. Turns out Banhammer OP. And I can agree with that. After that tournament, I took Deadpool and I played Vanpool the whole day. Still didn't win as much as I'd like to, but Banhammer is really good. You have to comment as well. That's the big thing. That's what makes it so good in pro play, is that you calm Banhammer and the rest of your team jumps on the person that gets Banhammered. But we don't got to worry about that. Rogue and Thing being protected here. I love these. Rogue getting.
Are we going to get a triple Vanguard lineup,
match?
though, do you think, because of these saves? I think we would, based on that, yeah. Group being safe, too, man. We're having such a Vanguard feast in these ban and protects currently. I think also because the Emma ban, yeah. They had to lock in one Vanguard.
Okay. I think they're just trying to chop down GCU Purple's Vanguard pool because, I mean, if I'm Grizz Maroon, I just save the next best Vanguard for Olive and just let her cook, honestly. Like, that is
getting rid of the Moon Knight so you don't have group. Moon Knight is huge as well. Love to see it. I mean, these are massive saves and bans from both ends here. So not too surprised with what we've seen focused down, especially because you want to make sure you secure at least someone you're comfortable with on that Vanguard line. And we do see the Hella Namor available. So, of course, it is going to be played on both sides. And so is the Cloak and Dagger, of course, with that.
No.
Thing.
There's no way Olive.
Interesting.
Olive got a Hulk?
Okay.
Olive, you got a Hulk?
No maybe they're practicing for the new patch. Could be. Could be practicing for the new patch. Hulk thing's actually gonna be meta. I mean, probably not, but you know, for certain comps.
30 seconds
Sound?
before you attack. Get
Sound is
ready.
desynced. Sound is desynced.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
No, never mind. I'm tripping out. Why did I hear 2 Hulks? Why did I
You
hear?
did hear 2 Hulks, yeah.
No, maybe I'm going crazy here.
Maybe you are Moon
Grizz-
Knight. Once Moon Knight was banned, you became him and heard the voices.
Yeah. I just hear multiple Hulks in my ear.
No.
Yeah, looks like going to be the Pain Brothers coming in for Grizz Maroon. No shield tank available for them, so this Hella Namor on the side of GCU Purple might be able to feast. Now, ASOC playing the Groot kind of like a shield tank, like a pseudo shield tank, because of the walls here, so might be able to provide their team with a little bit more protection. I'm really interested to see what Olive is going to do on this Hulk here, especially going into Monster Hulk form. That's been the biggest differentiator between a good and a bad Hulk, as Giamura instantly takes down Hikari.
Anyone willing to help?
Unfortunately, the purple makes it so that they take way more damage, and Grizz Maroon instantly have to back out.
Capture the mission area.
Well, GCU Purple taking that early percentage, pushing them back from the objective here and now. I'm liking this composition from them. I mean, the frontline group just so solid. I think they have the better of the front lines in terms of hero choices so far. Giamura, the thing in my mind, just has so much more value than Hulk does typically. But, you know, there's some really good Hulk players who can kite with them, especially once they build up their ultimates and use that to take people off the objective completely. There's some really cool plays you can do with them, so I'm curious if we're going to see any of that from Olive here specifically. But they do have to worry about that vulnerability a little bit. Jumping into the air, which did get improved, mind you, so they do have some more maneuverability than they used to. Trying to focus on the Loki at least a little bit, build up that alt charge even more so, and eventually we will see someone go in, but GCU Purple did have one of their members drop down. Good ultimates coming through so far. Got us a def, at least going to get one pick. Olive, the other direction though, does get one in kind. Has to go all out to stall just a little bit. The front line, at least for the Vanguards of Grizz Maroon, still holding on the objective, but percentage still building up for GCU Purple, so might have been a better option for them to back off.
Yeah, I suspect maybe Olive's going to swap off of this. Hikari has swapped over to the Groot here. As I say that, though, this Hulk is living really nice heals coming out from the strategist line of Grizz Maroon. As I say that, though, Hikari goes down. Attorney does pick up Anti in the meanwhile. Nice Anti as well coming in. Nice Exile as well. Exiling one of the healers is so busted. As Agent Alpha and ASOC combined, Horn of Proteus on top of the Strangling Prison is going to wipe Grizz Maroon's chances of taking that fight.
Hearing from the chat that ASOC is top 100 Groots NA, so we'll see if that is the case. All-time best Eternity rank, so pretty high-ranked player for their team as well. Most picked, though, seems to be Magneto on their side, so might see some of that come out in the future, but for now they are looking really solid with this composition of theirs. Grizz Maroon still trying to find their footing on the objective, and you know, maybe a comp change going into point 2 might be the way to go, but sticking with what they can and giving it their all. Unfortunately, didn't get a single percentage against GCU Purple, and I think a lot of that has to come with sometimes you don't necessarily need to stick on the objective as those Vanguards when the rest of your team has been eliminated and sent back to the respawn room, right? Like, you already have your ultimates available to you. It might be better just to back off and regroup. Instead, we saw them sticking around that time, unfortunately. So Grizz Maroon, we'll see what they can do on this next point, but GCU Purple won the first team fight, pushed them back to spawn, and then we didn't really see a full cohesive effort from Grizz Maroon onto the objective since then.
30 seconds before you attack. Get ready.
Yeah, GCU Purple looking very, very dominant, but this might be due to the fact that Grizz Maroon opened up on something a little bit more unorthodox. Doctor Strange is available. I don't know if Grizz Maroon are willing to pop that out here. Anti and Agent Alpha doing a really good job, essentially beating their counterparts. And I think just Strangling Prison plus Horn of Proteus is too strong for Grizz Maroon to not opt in for it. We just saw what GCU Purple did with it. But Giamura has been very good on this thing, landing clutch.
Got it?
Yeah, there it is. There we see.
We're expecting this at some point. I mean, it makes a lot of sense. Go for what's working. We know we all love Hulk in our hearts, but unfortunately, not currently at meta for the play styles that they want to go for here. And GMR actually doing pretty good. GM1 peak even, and honestly playing with the best of them in this lobby. So great looks. Rank doesn't tell the full story, but unfortunately, the story that is told is that they are getting eliminated off the objective for now. So is many members of Grizz Maroon. Attorney almost has the Horn of Proteus. We'll see if it does come out or if they save it. They actually got 2 picks themselves on Agent Alpha onto the side of Grizz Maroon. So maybe just some better one-to-one plays in favor of GCU Purple. Good one from Anti as well. Just the individual picks and eliminations from GCU Purple have been the difference maker here.
Grizz Maroon, bevy of ultimates available for themselves, though. Stick's the only one at 50%. I want to see some efficient usage, though, from Grizz Maroon. Plan ahead. Don't throw everything in the kitchen sink. GCU Purple, though, almost are working towards that 5. Nice little angle from ASOC there. Going up the walls on the side to combo Grizz Maroon. Olichi, Eternal Bond was used, but Olive ends up taking down ASOC. Attorney goes down as well from Agent Alpha, winning the Namor battle, the mirror, we can call it, and Olive just chasing Sneaky Raptor around the point. Giomura hits a massive, or sorry, not Giomura. Olive actually hits a massive clobbering time. Trying to do as much as she can, but I actually don't think it's enough.
Yeah, unfortunately, still not able to get the eliminations necessary to take GCU Purple off of the objective, and that seems to be the difference between these two teams. The elims come and flow like a river for GCU Purple, and unfortunately for Grizz Maroon, it's been a desert for them trying to find any water to survive on the objective. And even Anti using the Goddess of Death, focusing the other Hela ult so that they can't even get any value out of it was a masterful play from them. We do want to see Hikari using a massive Strangling Prison, combo that with Attorney, and they take out the entire GCU Purple roster. The first time we've seen them win a team fight this map, but again, it's not all for naught. If they can go and win off of this, hold the objective down, at least force that map 3, things can turn around in their favor, but they need more where that came from.
Sneaky Raptor, Loki ult available here. Might look to copy Rainfall with the Eternal Bond and just walk their way in. They're at 85%. 1, maybe 2 team fights if Grizz Maroon ends up portaling. But Olive takes down ASOC, and they're still going to commit the Eternal Bond. I'm not sure if I love this play or agree with it, but Attorney does have the Namor ult available, Horn of Proteus. A lot of members go down for GCU Purple. Yeah, I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that. Loki copy. I think committing it after your Vanguard goes down is kind of overzealous.
Just a little bit. But hey, works out in favor for Grizz Maroon, so they'll take it every day of the week. Grizz Maroon sorting things out as much as they can. Attorney Cheeks, they have their ultimate available to them. Maybe they'll combo it here with the clobbering time, but no, they're holding on to it for now. I think that's a wise maneuver for them, just to make sure that they can lock things down, keep them at bay. These eliminations are flowing like a river now for Grizz Maroon, and it's not stopping anytime soon. Rushing rapids of elims and KOs against GCU Purple, one after the other, and this is a completely different team, it feels like, for Grizz Maroon once they're playing more defensively.
Yeah, they're looking to hold this on. Nice Strangling Prison from Hikari. Keeps them, at least GCU Purple, in their spawn. And 95%, somebody's got a TP. They are going to commit this Eternal Bond just so they can get into the overtime. And Anti swapping over to the Doctor Strange here so they can portal. A lot of ultimates whiff from both sides. GCU Purple, though, Kraken Impact comes in. Giomura lands a big clobbering time, but luckily, Neunara gets the invisible boundary down, and Olive responds in kind. ASOC lands a Strangling Prison. Big elims onto Grizz Maroon, and GCU Purple, despite heading into this fight in a 6v5, Anti's TP comes in, and 85% and counting. Olichi, the strategist, for Grizz Maroon, is going to swap over to the Strange because they're the first one to go down.
Strange made some
Might have been a better option for someone else too. They had enough time to get someone else on the portal, so they at least had enough sustain. But it looks like they are going the triple Vanguard route to stay onto it. Attorney moved over to the Rocket Raccoon. Sticks, as you mentioned, going down immediately. Agamotto, unfortunately, will come through, and all the elims follow from it. You see ASOC also getting a number of members off the objective, and that will be the first map going the way of GCU Purple.
GCU Purple doing a fantastic job keeping Grizmaroon at bay, coming back. It almost looks like the round was going to be flipped, and we might have gone to a round 3 here. Really good ultimate usage from GCU Purple. I think the Strangling Prisons were on point. They just kind of played the mirror comp better.
That they did. Great looks from GCU Purple. They also just focused on fragging out a lot more than Grizmaroon were able to. Full stop, especially on that first point. I mean, you could see kind of why the elims and final hits on their end in comparison to their counterparts. 10 from Anti, 9 from ASOC. Giamura also doing a great job on their end as well. So an insane look on their end to come out on top. But again, just good looks for the Grizmaroon side. So GCU Purple, I mean, they just keep it going, and I think they'll take this series in stride if they keep it up. But Grizmaroon, I think the big thing is they found their footing towards the end there, but it just wasn't, it was too little too late, right? They had to get those early fight wins. Every time we see a domination map, we harp on this all the time. I think it's like 80% or higher. If you win the first team fight, you win the map typically. So that's what we saw happen here again for GCU Purple. They're able to win every time, even if they gave so much percentage to Grizmaroon. One team fight going their way, they come out on top again. So GCU Purple, I think they just keep playing as they're playing, focus on that Vanguard pool ban at the start, and they'll look good.
Yeah, I really like their ultimate usage. They felt very efficient. Other than maybe the one time we saw them commit that Eternal Bond relatively early, right? With that one team fight where one of their Vanguards went down. Other than that, I mean, they were just really, really efficient. And I enjoyed that. I love when I get to see clean Marvel rivals like that. Definitely a different sort of game from last series. No offense to Stevenson or BU, but that is high level Marvel rivals, and GCU coming out on top there. Grizmaroon, though, with their map choice. Wow. Shocker.
This is insane.
I think it's your favorite
I've
map.
never seen this. I mean, I like the map. It's fun. But we've seen it so often is the main thing, you know. This is a favorite for a lot of teams for good reason, especially if they are very defensive minded. So I'm assuming, you know, since we saw Grizmaroon look a little bit better when they actually had full control of the objective on domination and were playing defense, playing up away from the point, it looks solid for them. So maybe that'll be their strategy here, is if they can play to their strong suit on this side. I don't know if necessarily the save on the Rogue was the best play. Maybe if they could have protected someone else. Yeah, like I think if they focus on a different hero, then maybe it could have gone a different way, right? But they had their own thought process on what they could protect. Maybe they were worried that it'd just be complete Vanguard focus on the other end, but who knows what the mindset was for Grizmaroon on that ban and protect phase. But we go back into it this time. It does get swapped around between these two, and it will be Grizmaroon getting that first ban of the Gambits. Of course, that's going to be taken out. No one's going to be able to use that. And unfortunately for Olive, they are not going to be able to use the Vanguard pool the entire day today.
No, I think that's going to be taken away. Yeah, I didn't really agree with Grizmaroon's protects. I don't
ban Groot this time. That's all I say.
Yeah, ban Groot if you're going to run the thing, if you're going to be so adamant on running it. Also, like, the Rogue Protect was not necessary.
Ooh,
they also
now you have to
hyper-indexed.
ban thing. Not ban thing. You have to ban Groot. You do not want to give them Groot, Mantis, Loki specifically. You could ban Loki as well. Loki was saved last time by GCU Purple, so a couple of different options on that end. I don't think you focus on the Vanguards as much because you need to focus more on that backline or even the damage that we saw coming out from them too, right? The Namor was massive on their side from what I remember.
Hella Namor better.
Yeah, they played that like way better than they did. So maybe focusing on the Hela specifically for the ban there. There's a couple different options that they can go for this one for Grizmaroon. But yeah, it makes sense that you want to get rid of the Groot because GCU Purple were never going to ban that.
And this is one of Groot's best maps, too,
Yes.
right? You can throw the Ironwood Wall in a really sneaky spot, and you can just stay immovable forever. And especially if you're going to be dead set on playing Thing. I know a lot of people think the matchup has kind of shifted because of the mobility and how you can jump around. I still think it's really tough. If you get walled, like, you pray that your team is breaking them, and if you're not running wall breaking stuff. I like GCU Purple, though, targeting the Magneto, right? I mean, arguably targeting Grizz Maroon's potentially best player in Olive, taking away some of these more stock standard tanks and maybe forcing her onto something else. GCU Purple very clearly believe that they have the better duelist line, so saving that Phoenix and telling you, hey, Grizz Maroon, you're not going to be able to beat us through Vanguards. You're going to have to out-final hit us.
Yeah. Locking in the Invisible Woman, I think, is good for the back line, too, in case we do see, Doctor Strange come out at some point as well, so you can push them with the Force Physics. Again, there's the Loki Van I was talking about, though. You do not want that in the hands of GCU Purple, especially because they seem to have a stronger back line in comparison, and that really is exacerbated by, like, a really good Loki player. Because you can time your ultimates perfectly, you can get it faster than the other team based on the amount of ammo that they have available to them. I do like that they're nerfing that in the most recent patch here as well. And getting rid of the Rogue, I think, makes sense, especially because you've typically seen some triple holds on this first point. But instead, it's going to be Grizz Maroon playing offense first. Typically, we see the team who picks... Oh, actually, this makes sense, yeah, because they're the ones who picked the map. I forgot how the order of things worked. It's been a long day. It's okay. But GCU Purple, yeah, they'll be playing defense. That makes sense.
Attorney on the Squirrel Girl Lord as well. Don't know how much effective usage is going to get. Yeah, I think you just play Moon Knight, which is just better Squirrel Girl in my mind for Grizz Maroon.
Yeah.
I'm not hating this composition necessarily, but GCU Purple definitely have something in the back pocket. This is a very standard pro comp. When Mantis is available, you just run triple strategist and you just damage boost perma your one singular hit scan DPS. In this case, it's going to be anti. And like Grizz Maroon, they are running decomposition to break it. Typically, you'd see Moon Knight plus Storm, but
I'm
Moon Knight here is
surprised we don't
completely
see
fine.
a Moon Knight Mantis, though. Like, that is the effectiveness that you expect to see from them, so... Who knows? They're just having a team meeting in the spawn room. I think they're just having a fun time with it. Again, that's the cool thing about these collegiate matches as well. Like, it's not as serious as pro play. There's not as much on the line other than pride and glory and trying to make it to those playoffs. This is the early stages of the semester to figure out what works, what doesn't work, change your compositions based on that, see where you can go from them. Olichi, though, swapping over the Cloak and Dagger, I do like that. Double Tear Cape is so effective. Really do need Attorney, though, to get some more focusing shots, though, with their moons against the opponents so that they can build up that ultimate even faster. And they actually get picked off by Anti so quick so that they can't even build up that Hand of Khonshu as they wanted to. And there's 3, and they get 4 members already down from Grizz Maroon, and about to be 5.
Goodbye. GCU Purple just steamrolling Grizz Maroon there in the blink of an eye. And it looks like they're going to opt in for that Mantis. Yeah, why didn't they just open up with that? Essentially running mirror composition. So now it's a matter of which Phoenix is better and which team can pilot the heroes better in the mirror. This is a full 6v6 mirror. This is kind of rare.
Yeah, typically we don't see that, especially on the attacking side, right? They want to go for more of the spawn break strategy on that side. Olichi, though, does get that pick onto Jayumaro, so massive momentum shift in their favor. Visible boundaries procced by both sides. Sonic Seduction already available for Olive, so ultimate pacing working out better for Grizz Maroon, but they do need to be able to deal with this Eternal Bond in some way. Rainfall was able to get that towards the back line, so they're going to sustain themselves, at least for now, on the objective. The portal play from Giamara also, just to get them back in the fight as quickly as possible. I feel like they could have saved that for later.
I think it's a tempo thing, right? I mean, GCU Purple have already committed a mass amount of ults here, so they're just trying to force Grizz Maroon out, but it's not going to work, because like you said, Grizz Maroon, better ultimate economy usage. Maybe they could have held the portal. Maybe potentially Giamura could have held onto it until the whole team respawns back and then they flood back in. That's typically what we see from higher level teams, but I think GCU Purple made the call here. Hey, let's commit portal early. Let's try to figure it out here. Sticks looking for
Just in case.
something. I don't know. Portal cancel? Like
Probably forgot that the portal was used earlier because like most people would think you wouldn't use it that early just to get back to the objective. But hey, you know, get some early chip damage on them, build up that ultimate even faster if you need to. Giamara just flying in against them, and a risky play, but you know, they'll get them off the high ground at least a little bit for now. So better positioning, but usually you have free reign with taking the cart down the main street here.
Ooh,
And
Silent Seduction.
Inferno and the Silent Seduction, as you mentioned, could be useful here.
Yeah, ends up picking up Olichi in the back, and Grizmaroon have to scatter playing in that mega room. As Olive does take down Asian Alpha, and Hikari with a nice clobbering time here lands on the multiple members of GCU Purple. Eternal Bond committed from Rainfall. GCU Purple have done this multiple times now, committing a strat ultimate despite being down in numbers, just looking for that stall, looking for Sticks. Maybe now he's going to pop off here, takes Rainfalls down, and GCU Purple, I want to say, waste of an Eternal Bond there.
Yeah, it's a tough spot to be in, right? Because you're trying to create the space with it, see if that's enough for you to sustain yourself and walk. But the problem was that they didn't really have much backing them up, and the ultimates weren't in their favor because they got taken out before they could even use them. So Grizmaroon continues to move on their path of domination to point 2, and it seems like GC Purple were better suited towards that Dom map in comparison to this one. So good counter pick so far for Grizmaroon. Ultimates come through though. Sticks using theirs, try to get a pick, did get one on the other end. Olichi going down immediately. Aonara as well. Olive trying to keep their team alive. Attorney Cheeks can't really do too much, but there's two good picks from Grizmaroon.
Gizmaroon, after a little bit of resistance on that first point, have just been steamrolling through point 2 here. Hikari's been landing some
Great
really good
stall from
cooperating times.
Anti.
They're doing a really good job. Yeah, pretty good stall from Anti. But unfortunately, GCU Purple
Good time to stop them.
will have to fight on this last point here. Be careful, both for Grizmaroon and GCU Purple. With Invisible Woman in play, you can get sent to your doom.
Yes, especially if you aren't prepared for it. I like this play of having the shield in front of Sticks just so that they can get the chip damage and build up their ultimate even faster against the other team. You also see the swap from ASOC on to the Punisher instead. So one-sided Phoenix. I mean, I guess the Phoenix wasn't feeling as comfortable for GCU Purple, but just the long sight lanes work so much better for Grizmaroon here.
Yeah, maybe there's kind of identifying that Hikari is a problem.
True,
Soul
yeah.
Resurgence used from Olichi. A lot of ultimates being pressed for Grizmaroon. Insong Inferno as well on top of the clobbering time. Rainfall committing Eternal Bond. 2 members are down though. Just trying to burn as much time as possible. Agent Alpha coming back along with
focus.
Giamara. ASOC has Final Judgment. Rainfall takes down Olichi, but Rainfall goes down as well. ASOC's got to live here because this is their only win condition on this next ensuing fight.
It's been such a momentum shift, and I think the biggest change here is Hikari being on the thing and Olive being able to play that Emma, just creating space with it, using their shield to block off a lot of the damage, and all of that Punisher ult was just going onto the shield. They just completely blundered on when they were using it, and unfortunately we're not able to get a single pick from it. So Grizmaroon, of course, a couple of them do go down, so that does create some space for GCU Purple. And yeah, they could have swapped to the shotgun. Maybe we're able to get some more, but a complete reset does come out at least, so it does force them back and stall things for now.
Minute 45 on the clock. About 2, maybe 3 fights left in this round for Grizmaroon. Sticks does have the Insong Inferno available. Sonic Seduction gets committed by Anti. Giamara has the clobbering time, and Sneaky has yet to convince the invisible boundary just yet. As I say that, though, there we go. Nice angle from Olive, though. Pretty much capturing almost everybody on GCU Purple's time, but big clobbering time on to Grizmaroon. Unfortunately, though, Giamara gets taken down. Soul Resurgence, 5-man clobbering time from Hikari into the Inferno. My lord, Grizmaroon, beautiful ult usage.
Oh my gosh, creating so much space with those ults and the eliminations. And yeah, everyone dropping like flies in the GCU Purple. Massive moves being made. This is the difference compared to what we saw in the last map, a full 180 of their performance. They were struggling to use their ults properly, struggling to get those eliminations. The sleep, unfortunately, doesn't matter. Invisible Boundary able to do a lot here, and even with the Final Judgment, it's not really as damage boosted as they would like, so no picks come from it.
You have to stand in the cloak ultimate, ASOC, or you will go down here. And one-sided Phoenix proving very, very troublesome for GCU Purple, although they're still stalling on the point, and he finally goes down. I don't think ASOC's going to be able to get there in time. And Grizz Maroon, 3 full points with a little bit of time to spare. 12 seconds on the clock. Very well played from them. I think after that first point, Vodible, they just had really immaculate ult usage.
Yeah, they did. That's the difference between what we saw last time and this time. But also, Sticks popping off on the Phoenix has been massive. Olive also being unleashed on the Emma. I think things just wasn't working out for her as well as she wanted it to. And Akari is doing enough for the team, taking a lot of the damage, right? 31,000 damage blocked is insane.
That's crazy. That's all with his face, by the way. He's no shields. That's just 31,000 damage taken by Hikari. And the fact that he only has two deaths here means that he did a really good job tanking, right?
Yeah.
Or obviously
great heals too.
Yeah. I didn't want to overshadow them. They did a really good job.
Good on both ends, though, right? Like, you can still get bursted down even if you have triple strategists on the back line. And we got the Helen Amor that worked out so well, though, for GCU Purple, so could be the difference maker for them.
Potentially, but minimum this map will go to overtime, or at least sudden death, if GCU Purple get it to those 3 points. Olive 32 and 5 as well. 13 finals. Has been a really good job maintaining that beam, like that 100% beam power. Also got buffed last patch, or season 6, I guess technically 6 patch, for no apparent reason. So yeah, I don't know, man. Emma Frost, love that hero.
Good for a reason. Been meta for quite a long time, you know. Rocking the new costume as well. The high ponytail, as I believe it is called. But either way,
I like high ponytails. I do like high ponytails.
A fashion statement, you could say. But what we can say right now is this is a good push already. A lot of space being created by GCU Purple. Grizz Maroon are playing a lot more passive than you typically see players at this stage. So they're giving too much space, in my opinion, to their opponents. Good elimination, though, onto ASOC.
Yeah, it's going to stop GCU Purple's offensive here. A minute already gone by, which is kind of crazy to think about how fast time moves in Marvel Rivals when you're working towards that point, when you're walking towards. You lose one member, you lose a team fight, and you're already staring down 1.5 minutes of time gone. So GCU Purple got to move a little bit quicker, maybe a bit faster here, as Grizz Maroon doing a really good job stalling them out so far.
Also shout out Mr. Bepic for the raids.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Bepic.
Big dubs from the Rocket League community there. They had some quals going on for a LAN, pretty dope. Either way, though, Agent Alpha and Sneaky Raptor have their ultimates available to them. Curious when they will come through. As everyone is stunned, a massive clobbering time here from Hikari onto the entire lineup of GCU Purple, but they didn't get a conversion from it. Finally, ASOC goes down, and the pieces are picked up by Olive and Sticks. There goes one more for the double, and everyone is vanquished off the map. Not much time remaining. Half of it has been used already for GCU Purple.
Hikari hitting his jackpot time and time again here with that ultimate. Really, really good play from him on this clobbering time.
Problem is
Now
they don't have
GCU
any ultimates available, though.
Yeah, now GCU Purple do, like you said, have that ultimate advantage economy. Agent Alpha, Horn of Proteus available, Anti as well. Olichi, though, does have Soul Resurgence. Lucky they were able to pop it prior to the Psionic convergence coming in. And let's see. Goddess of Death, maybe, just maybe we'll find something. Instead, gets taken out immediately. And here comes Olive responding in kind.
Ooh, Giamara tried to use their ultimate too, but the rest of their team was stunned out. Hikari uses theirs, only gets the back line, but can't even get the conversions from it. So will be enough time for Rainfall to get back onto the objective. So a couple of good hits here and there, but Grizz Maroon dropping like flies, and it looks like, yeah, the TP does come through at the last moment from Sticks. But the problem is that
Ow.
they need the damage in their favor, and they are just getting dropped left and right. They can't even stay alive against
Oh
this
my!
Hella Namor combo.
Anti coming up big, hitting big, massive headshots and taking down a majority of the strat line for Grizz Maroon. Yeah, Styx TP. I'll say Grizz Maroon's TP because it's not his fault necessarily. Unfortunately, not effective in stalling. And GCU Purple are going to get another crack at trying to take us to an overtime on this map.
We shall see is the big thing here. I think Grizz Maroon, the problem was because they used so many of their ultimates to push the GCU Purple lineup back, is that they had nothing in the tank afterwards to sustain themselves on the objective. So yeah, they had the Soul Resurgence, but they had to use it once the Horn of Proteus came out from Agent Alpha, and then Anti just popped off pick after pick after pick, and they've realized this is the comp to go against triple strategists for a reason. You got the healing reduction from team up with Agent Alpha and Anti. Clobbering time comes through from Giamura, and this will be massive if they can get eliminations off of it, but no, instead it'll be the other direction it goes.
Giamura not finding any follow-up on his ult. I mean, that was like a four-man stun. Agent Alpha wasn't able to drop the Horn of Proteus. Olive takes them down as well. Like, GCU Purple feel out of sync. This does not feel like the same team I saw playing Domination in Map 1. It feels like a completely different roster.
It really is relying on individual pop-off potential from players, especially the duelist lineup. And the problem is if you get some good counters from Grizz Maroon, you can shut them down completely before they can even get going. I mean, again, Anti goes down immediately before they can use their ultimate, and that's a long death timer based on how long this map has been going on for. Same for the Agent as well. So again, this high angle that we're seeing from Styx is kind of cheeky, so they can't even move towards the convoy itself. And a lot of ultimates in the bank for GCU Purple, so going to come down to how they use them. What is this angle, man?
That's a disgusting angle. Nice Sonic Seduction, though, coming in. Maybe Anti can do something. Unfortunately, nope. Ultimate gets taken down. Olichi does pop the Soul Resurgence for Grizz Maroon. Now Olive is going to respond in kind with their own Sonic Seduction. Nice bubble from Agent Alpha, but I don't think it's enough. Gets behind the wall. One member goes down, Hikari, as well as Olichi Sakuri. GCU Purple, 1 minute left on the clock, are pushing Grizz Maroon back, but so much was invested from both ends.
You say that, but there's so many ultimates still available for GCU Purple. I think most of the ultimates used for Grizz Maroon were a bit wasted in my mind. They unfortunately didn't get as much value as they wanted from it. Agent Alpha actually flanking around with the Namor here to see if they can get an awkward angle onto the other side. No one getting stunned by the clobbering time for Giamura on that play, so the invisible boundary is just going to even things out between these two. Yancey Street charge, making it more difficult for them to back off from this full charge, and they are getting charged down immediately. They can't even stay alive to get back to the convoy in safety of their backline. So Grizz Maroon, they've done better without the ultimates than using them personally.
The best dry fighters in Marvel Rivals. Portal is being opened. Is Giamura going to be able to get it off, though? Olive takes down Asok, and the stun comes in from Hikari. I don't think that's actually going to help, though. Styx gonna take down the Goddess of Death. Rainfall, though, does have Eternal Bond ready. Olive popping the Sonic Seduction here, hopefully looking to potentially get somebody. Big angle onto all 6 members of GCU Purple, and they are falling. Giamura takes down Neunara, and Styx takes down Anti. So 4v5 right now for GCU Purple onto Grizz Maroon. Olive and Grizz Maroon. Unfortunately, Giamura, his Eye of Agamotto, before he can land, gets taken down. And Grizz Maroon are guaranteeing us at least 4 maps in this best of 5.
Cinema, as always, here, Shibby, on the NECC channel. Couldn't ask for anything better, and I think a lot of that had to come down to the composition changes that we saw from Grizz Maroon. Even with the way that the ban and protect phase went, I still think Grizz Maroon had their work in their favor. Getting rid of the Loki and getting rid of the Groot was the way to go. So you need to see at least one of those saved by GCU Purple is the big thing. 25 from Olive and 22 from Styx. My goodness. Those Eselums I talked about.
Yeah, the finals. Oh my lord! I mean, I dropping a 25 bomb onto GCU
and getting
Purple.
an ace,
and getting and getting a full 6 ace. Yeah, that's disgusting. Very well played.
Pro for a reason.
Pro for a reason. That's why we saw as well GCU Purple targeting a lot of that Vanguard pool early, the Magneto being taken away. I kind of was hoping that Grizz Maroon would ban away the Cloak and Dagger once they saw the Magneto ban, but they're completely fine with just letting that through here. And now we go back to GCU Purple's Convoy counter pick. What could we see? Unfortunately, no Museum of Contemplation until next week, but
that's going to be great. But you know
I'm gonna call my shot.
Up, Shibby? We're going to be sending on to a quick break, and we'll be back with the next map after that. So we'll be back in a bit. Welcome back, everyone. And it seems like Grizz Maroon have found the olive branch that they needed to carry them to victory in that last map. I'm sorry, I had to do it. But either way, this will be interesting because like Grizz Maroon struggled in domination, and now they looked really good here in Convergence. Shibby, you had an inkling, and we had to leave everyone on a little bit of a cliffhanger for that break before we came back. So what are you thinking we're going to here?
Yggdrasil Path, right? It's the most common one we see. I think you were thinking Midtown, which is also very common. And
Spider Islands. Wow, we're doing the exact same maps as last time. Crazy. Both of us were wrong.
Where's my pillow? Where's like, dude, I'm ready to fall. Like, okay, I mean, look. I like Spider Islands. It's vibrant, at least. Got a lot of cool colors. Distracts me, which is nice. But also, we're banning Loki,
we just got to do this to you, Shibby. Jingle, jingle, jingle.
No, put that or like, what is it? Maze Runner or whatever that thing is on the Subway Surfer.
Yeah, Maze Runner, Surfer? That's more of an Unk one.
Look, I remember Maze Runner. I remember. That was the original Subway Surfer.
Yeah, a great movie in the book.
Yeah. Yep.
I think you're thinking of the Temple Runner.
Oh, is that what it's called? Is that what it's called? Wait,
Temple
now
Run,
I gotta
Temple
see.
Run.
Temple Run? Can someone in chat confirm? Temple Run? Oh,
it's Temple Run, yeah. Maze Runner's the movie and book series.
Yeah, it's been a long day. I'm sick, guys.
It's because of Spider Islands. You know, Spider Islands just got you all messed up. That's all it is.
Spider Island's low-key a maze sometimes, the way it zigs and zags and how much verticality there is. I think I remember in Maze Runner, the walls are really high. So, yeah, a little bit. GCU Purple looked a little lost there. I felt like their ultimate usage in that last map was not as clean as we saw them on Burn into T'Challa. That might be because Grizz Maroon were playing a little bit of more off-meta stuff or, a little bit of different things here and there, but I don't feel like that changes because of the heroes that Grizz Maroon picks. Like GCU Purple were over-committing a lot of ultimates or committing stuff when the fight was already lost, which I think is the bigger sin.
I'm just curious to see what they focus on this time in terms of the bans and protects. I don't think they're going to protect Mantis. It worked against them last time. Maybe focusing down on the Groot would be a good strategy for them. Because they look so much stronger with their group play, right, in comparison to Grizz Maroon. So that could be a different strategy that they go for. Of course, they're going to go for the Vanpool ban immediately. Last time, that's targeting Olive again. But in terms of the protects, do we see them run it back with Mantis? I hope for their sakes we don't, because it worked out so much better for Grizz Maroon. I feel like even damage boosting Olive actually worked well. The Loki save, okay, yeah, the Loki was a big difference maker on that side. And we actually saw the Loki save come out first, I believe, last go around for GCU Purple on domination so that they could make sure that was available to them. So good change up in their favor there. They'll also be starting on defense again this time. So maybe that'll be enough to stop the clobbering club that Grizz Maroon have been pulling out. But Akari actually looks really good on the thing. So locking down the Loki, yeah, works out decently. But they won't have that grid available to them. And I feel like that was more of a big difference maker for them.
Yeah, the vulnerable is just so strong for Grizz Maroon because once you combo it with a fully charged Emma beam on top of the damage boost, it's actually just going to melt you, right? Like, you're actually going to disintegrate into the ground, unfortunately. And GCU Purple, banning the invis away, I don't hate that. I like you said, the Loki save, really good on this map, the verticality, the different areas you can place it on. Wonder if we're going to see more triple strategist compositions. I like the Phoenix save,
Probably.
although I did feel like GCU
Phoenix
Purple
works better
strayed
for
away
Grizz
from the...
Maroon.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. They strayed away from the Phoenix
Ooh, the mag
very
save was
early on
massive.
because Sticks... Yeah, Grizz Maroon saving that mag, which has been banned out, right? The Invis ban originally for the last 2 maps was a Magneto ban, and I love
Ooh,
this.
the strange
No,
ban.
yeah, no portal play, no shenanigans. I
Ivagamotos.
really mess with this. No Ivagamotos. And that's simply because Invis was banned away, one of the biggest counters. And I like the Emma ban. Oh, some pretty fair and honest Marvel rivals will be played today, Vodible.
I like it. I like it. But you know what? It does leave open again. It does leave the Mantis open for that triple strategist. And we saw how good that worked out last time for Grizz Maroon. Mantis, Loki, probably Cloak and Dagger. Oh, actually, no. We do see it's going to be a little bit of a different look here with the side of... Yeah, I mean, I guess this makes sense. We've seen some good looks with this comp in the past, like way back when, with the Luna Snell, Cloak and Dagger, and Rocket Raccoon specifically. You have potential for 2 different ults that can damage boost as they heal as well. And then the Terror Capes from the Cloak and Dagger. So we're going to be eyes on what GCU Purple are going to be doing to counter that specifically, using the Meteor M's, if that'll work in their favor. Also having the damage boost from the Mantis is a big thing on their end as well. I'm actually kind of surprised Grizz Maroon aren't going for more of like a stall like break hold breaker composition like we could do with like a Moon Knight or something else, but all of actually using the Angela. I like to see that play because there's so many different ways you can use Angela well and bob and weave around the different buildings here on this specific map.
I mean, you also have Heaven's Retribution plus Ensong Inferno, right? That's a really big combo that I expect Grizz Maroon to take advantage of, especially because Attorney is on the rocket, so you can damage boost it, although now you're committing 3 ultimates, which could be an overinvestment. GCU Purple, though, have Anti available on the Phoenix, so I don't love this rocket pick. I expect it not to have a lot of success. Olive flying around here and has taken the Mantis for a ride. Agent Alpha, though, is fine, but the greens do get used. Oh, that's another big thing, right? Mantis Loki team up available. So on top of the lamps providing invulnerability for a little bit, or until you take the totem out, it gives damage boost and it's wider range.
Like the damage boost, like the range, like the hands being thrown. We got the thong here, or the thing, excuse me. Grizz Maroon. That's
Yo!
what they can. Hey, that's what the costume is. That's what the costume is. That's all I'm saying.
There's no way it's called. It probably is, actually. I wouldn't be put it past Marvel Rivals. Well, fan service.
That's not what it's called.
Fan
That's
service
not what
is
it's
needed
called.
for everybody. Sticks. Focusing back here. Ensong Inferno. Hikari does use the... I'm sorry. My train of thought is just completely gone. All right. Me, mo. All right, we're
rot,
back in,
that's all it
guys. Yeah. Too much brain rot. GCU Purple, though.
I've been
a
playing too much
bevy
ranked,
of
man.
ultimates. Yeah, me too. It does rot your brain. That plus TikTok, deadly combo here. But let's see if GCU Purple can come out with an even deadlier combo. Sneaky Raptor does copy the Soul Resurgence here. They're going to walk in. At least one person is contesting card. Giomora does have clobbering time. Neunara, though, is going to pop the Eternal Bond, and it gets absolutely eaten alive. Unfortunately, the Meteor M does not go anywhere. Olive on this Magneto has built up their own Meteor M, and here comes the Fear Magneto. Let's see if they can get anything. It's damage boosted as well, and it doesn't matter, as Anti is going to take out Attorney's very own CYA.
I'm liking this composition from GCU Purple, especially the combo that you typically see, the bread and butter of the Meteor M with the Ensong Inferno. It just works so well, right, to deal with any stragglers from Grizz Maroon. And I feel like they need to change things up a little bit on their side. I do like Olive back on the Magneto this time because the Angela just wasn't really working against the poke that we saw from GCU Purple, especially with the extra damage that they can get using the Mantis to their favor. So now able to walk a little bit more, damage reduction used on them as well. Also perfect uses of the shield, just create some extra space. So clobbering time into the back line, though. That's 3 people stunned out. Giomura going backwards as well, but nobody actually getting converted from that. So we will see Fate of Both Worlds used by Olichi just to keep them on the point. And GCU Purple, a bit of a waste of the clobbering time, actually. It didn't go anywhere.
That's rare from Hikari. Or, sorry, not Hikari. Giomora, who's been normally having some really good ults here. But GCU Purple will get vanquished in point one. Going over to Grizz Maroon so far with pretty solid time bank. 3 minutes, right? Not too bad.
Yeah, no, it wasn't as much of a hold as GCU Purple really wanted on that first objective, but they still wasted some time, which is always important. So against a team like Grizz Maroon, which has, you know, this veteran Vanguard lineup with Olive on it, is massive on their end. Meteor M, we'll see what they can do with it. Also smart to like just damage boost one of your strongest heroes and players. That's what we're seeing from Olichi. I like to swap over to the Mantis too, just so that they can actually focus more on getting an ult charge, but also forcing the issue against the other team and going toe-to-toe with them a little bit more there. Loki also being used by Attorney is massive, so great change-ups to keep this momentum going, but it's all going to come down to these ult usages.
Big fear, Magneto. Somebody's got to break the bubble, guys. Tell your team, break the bubble. And then the Meteor M could land. Unfortunately, both whiff. They go wide right here. And Grizz Maroon, not as many ults available. GCU Purple, got to be smart, though. Got to be efficient. As I say that, clobbering time lands onto 3 members. Hikari, massive clobbering time. And that's going to take GCU Purple down to 4 people. Anti takes down Neunara, though. Grizz Maroon down a strategist. Giomora says, hey, I've got a clobbering time of myself. Soul Resurgence comes in from Olichi, though. And that's going to put a stop to any sort of follow-up from GCU Purple.
It's tough for GCU Purple because it seems they keep getting staggered so much where they aren't able to use their ultimates in tandem. I mean, we've seen clobbering times come out and then no focus on the backline afterwards. We've seen strategist ultimates being used and they haven't been able to do anything really with it. And even with the Eternal Bonds that have come through, they haven't created enough space for them to move forward. So see Sneaky Raptor using one to at least create some room for them towards the objective. But here's the Meteor M from ASOC. Will it be enough? Can they time it properly? No, it actually hits the woodwork, the corner of the building around them. So not the best positioning that they could have been in to use that Meteor M. Instead, Grizz Maroon have free reign to move up towards that second checkpoint.
Pro hates architecture. Just like, nah, I need to redecorate here, unfortunately. Olive, though, Meteor M available. Hikari, clobbering time once again onto GCU Purple. I mean, one after another, Hikari has been landing clutch clobbering times.
Yeah, great looks from Hikari. I think them swapping over to the Thing since map 1 and then Olive more flexing to kind of that main Vanguard role that we like to see is working out in their favor. But GCU Purple still have a couple tricks up their sleeve. I think it all, again, comes down to that ult usage, right? We saw it be so clinical in that first domination map last time against Grizz Maroon. And it just seems like the synergy hasn't been that much there this go-around. A mirror comp between these two teams, though. So Grizz Maroon, if they can hold on to their ults and time them properly, they'll be able to get that third checkpoint and force another potential full hold scenario like they did on Convergence. They definitely seem better suited for these types of maps compared to Domination like we saw.
Yeah, I mean, Domination also one of the more volatile map forms in general.
Yeah.
In theory, worse on team paper can always take it, especially because it's so momentum-based, right? You only have to take sometimes 4, maybe 3 team fights and you can win the map. As I say that, Neunara does pop the Eternal Bond. Rainfall is going to respond in kind, and Olive says, hey, I've got a Meteor M here. Maybe I can dunk it onto somebody. Wow. Agent Alpha, the recipient of the meatball, goes down here. And Anti, though, picks up 2, says, hey, I'll respond in kind with my own elims.
Anti, just an air battery, taking out the entire backline of Grizz Maroon. First fight win in a bit that we've seen from them since the first objective, so a good windfall in their favor, but they need to take that the distance to pass the finish line and stop Grizz Maroon in their tracks, so they at least don't have to worry about going all the way to checkpoint number 3 here on Spider Islands. Not much time remaining, though, for Grizz Maroon. Happy to use Soul Resurgence. Clobbering time does come through. Gets 4 people for Grizz Maroon. A massive ultimate to at least delay them and make it so Olichi's ultimate is useless.
Yeah, Soul Resurgence not getting as much value as they would like. Sneaky Raptor does take down Hikari. Attorney, though, has to copy the Eternal Bond. Arguably wanted to use it probably later. Sticks building up towards that Ensong Inferno. GCU, though, not a lot to work with. A dry fight ensuing. Overtime is ticking for Grizz Maroon. This is probably last team fight territory unless they can get a portal off.
Yeah, I don't know if we'll necessarily see it, depending on if anyone gets staggered from Grizz Maroon. You know, Olive wants to use their Meteor M. That was a great bubble onto Sticks just to keep them alive on the high ground and trying to hold on to it as best they can. They need to get this pick onto the other Phoenix, but Anti is staying alive throughout all of it. Good focuses going straight towards the back line again. They try to use the combo of the Meteor M with it, but it wasn't enough. ASOC has theirs still remaining. Clobbering time came through, and that's a double from ASOC onto their back line yet again. Everyone vanquished from Grizz Maroon. Even the clobbering time coming out from Hikari as a last-ditch effort, but it's not enough. Sticks the only one remaining on the objective, and it will be overtime. Ticking down, no third checkpoint secured this time.
0-2-2.
What a play from ASOC.
Switch things up.
I mean, really, really well-placed Meteor M. Understood, that Grizz Maroon had to kind of stay on point. Overtime was ticking. Just drops it right onto the convoy. Picks up two. I believe he picked up two strategists there as well. So really high value Meteor M. I mean, most of the Meteor M's from both of these teams were whiffing. I think Olive ended up hitting one onto Agent Alpha, and ASOC takes down multiple members for Grizz Maroon. So GCU Purple have a chance to take this map and not send us into an overtime.
See if they can do it. See if this will be the counter pick that Grizz Maroon were looking for. Or GCU Purple, excuse me. Grizz Maroon looking for their own counter pick if they do drop this map. But again, like, we didn't even see, at least on Central Park, too much resistance put up by GCU Purple on the attacking side. I think a lot of that, though, had to come down to that Emma play that we saw from Olive specifically. The Magneto not getting as much value, honestly. Meteor M's, yeah, they could do some stuff here and there, but the elimination totals are dwarfed in comparison, especially when we saw them on the attacking side. So curious to see what the strategy for GCU Purple will be here. Looks like they're pretty much sticking with the same composition. If it ain't broke, you don't need to fix it. Same for the other side of Grizz Maroon. So toe-to-toe it goes, and we'll see how it continues from here on out.
Yeah, I think Olive's just a better fundamental Magneto, right? I mean, even if you remove the ultimate usage out of it, 8 finals, MVP currently on Grizz Maroon. And GCU Purple pretty much working with Anti popping off here, doing a really good job with that Phoenix. And Sticks kind of needs the match in kind. Also, again, haven't seen the Ensong Inferno Magneto combo. You have to land with Ensong first while Magneto's channeling, so that then they can drop it onto any of the members that are low, because the shields or totems are gone. Sneaky Raptor, though, takes down Hikari. Olive bursts Anti down. That's a duelist away for GCU Purple, who's going to take a long walk back to point one.
Good pressure being created by GCU Purple. Just walking forward. So much room being created already.
Wow.
This is actually much faster than we saw Grizz Maroon be able to do anything about it. There's the
Nice.
combination, though. The Meteor M using it with the Ensong Inferno just to get that splash damage, and eventually the eliminations from Sticks. Perfectly timed. It makes sense when you have a pro-level player on your team. But will it be enough? They do stall them out at least a little bit here. A good team fight win in their favor. Not going to get the full elimination, so not a true reset back to the respawn, but at least just enough to create a buffer and waste even more time. And around this point, I believe we saw that first checkpoint captured by Grizz Maroon, so got to put the pedal to the metal if you're GCU Purple and want to come out with this map win.
Yeah, ASOC and Anti have to come in with their own Ensong Meteor M combo here. Kari has clobbering time available. Actually gets stunned, so unable to use it. Drops back down to 50%. ASOC instead opting in to try to counter this. I just don't think it's worth it. I genuinely think you just you try to use it Ensong Inferno instead of going for the raw hit onto Cloak, because Olive is just too good of a tank. She will just block it, you know?
Every time, yeah. Especially if you're trying to focus them down like that. And you can see Anti trying to stagger Olive there as well. So Grizz Maroon will have to reset. Have a couple ultimates in their favor to do just that. Colonel Blonde is being used by the Loki with the copy. God of Mischief on the line. Also Soul Resurgence from Alichi.
Oh, stunned!
Clobbering Time came through, but I don't think it really did as much as they wanted it to. So
No,
I
it
think
got stunned.
Oh, it got stopped out. Oh my gosh, I haven't seen that happen against a thing in some time. Rough spot to be in. Tried to combo the ultimates, but didn't quite work there.
Yeah, Akari. It happened to Akari. It just happened to Jimura. There we go. Nice
Almost
sleep, though,
again.
to at least stop some of the follow-up. Yeah, Akari. Also, I will say these things are kind of telegraphing it, right? They're charging in with their Yancey Street charge. Clearly, they haven't used ultimate. They're looking for something big, so you can kind of anticipate it. Grizz Maroon, though. Defense is faltering. ASOC and Rainfall are able to eliminate some of their counterparts here in GCU Purple. Get point one with a little bit more time than Grizz Maroon had the first time they captured it. It was 3 minutes to 3 minutes and 15 seconds.
Time is on their side, for sure. A good look that we saw from GCU Purple. I feel like more of that was a mistake on the end of Grizz Maroon than anything. Weird timings of ultimates and misplacements of the Ensong Infernos and Meteor M's, not knowing exactly where to use them, but also good positioning from GCU Purple, so got to give them credit where it is due there. And they have a lot of their ultimates in their favor. Didn't even have to use a single one in that last team fight, so this will be a big look for them if they can use them properly. Not a single person getting hit by that clobbering time, though, a bit wasted.
Jimura, unfortunately, not able to replicate Hakari's success on these clobbering times. Big stun, though, on the Grizz Maroon, light on the multiple members. Anti has ult. ASOC as well. Maybe we see the combo, but ASOC's taking a lot of damage here. Soul Resurgence committed early for Asian Alpha. Sticks, though. Gonna pop the Ensong
Massive.
Inferno. Lands right onto Alpha's head. And Anti trying to do the same thing. ASOC is channeling. Takes down Olichi. Both of the Mantises go down here. Olive still has Meteor M, though, and Attorney still has the copy. So if they play this right, Grizz Maroon can just stall this out and win this fight. Here, Magneto coming in.
Oh, no. The
Yeah, I hate
positioning
rocks
of it
too.
again wasn't right there. But yeah, first the scenery that we saw with the corner of the building last time on defense for GCU Purple. And I was like, yeah, I'll give you that one. But it was kind of a hard angle to go for at the end. They were already retreating so much. So just threatening them with the Meteor M helps enough than anything else. They haven't even been using them, actually. The focus on the Cloak and Daggers, more just trying to get individual picks towards the back line. So Attorney is going to be using their own in tandem after the God of Mischief does get popped for the copy. And Sneaky Raptor going down immediately. Olive with a two-piece. ASOC gets one, but doesn't matter too much when Grizz Maroon are in your back line.
And these Terror Capes from Neunara have been elite, right? Just really, really insane usage to allow Grizz Maroon to pick up a lot of these eliminations. I mean, this is why Cloak and Dagger is just so good right now. Double Terror Cape, focus the same person down. I'm sure the comms are really clean from Grizz Maroon at the moment. And also you've got Hikari on the thing. Giamura lands a 5-man clobbering time. Apologies, Grizz Maroon. I believe I caster cursed you a bit.
It happens to the best of them, but a little less than 30 seconds to keep things going. Great stagger on to Hikari.
No TP, right?
Yeah, no TPs
it's
because the
banned.
Strange did come banned. So we'll see what can go from here on out. Second checkpoint is taken. Time on the side of GCU Purple to turn this into a win condition for them with how much they've been reserving their ultimates. Like team fights, we saw last time the exact opposite, right? Where Grizz Maroon were winning team fights without using ultimates. Now it's the other way with GCU Purple just timing things properly. Grizz Maroon maybe not using theirs as best as they could.
Yeah, also GCU Purple was overcommitting, right?
Yeah,
they would use a
that's
ton
true.
here. Fear Magneto comes in. Olive looking for something, unfortunately unable to find anyone here. Sticks and Song Inferno, as well as Akari has the clobbering time. Giamura lands onto 4! Huge clobbering time, and Hikari trades back. Unfortunately, GCU Purple's is just a little bit better. Layer that on top with the Terror Cloak, Terror Capes, and Anti picks up Sticks. Looking for an angle here. Finishing off Grizz Maroon, just trying to move this convoy. Potential last team fight territory for both of these teams.
Good time wasted by Olive on the point there, even though it's technically a stagger. I think it was worth enough.
Oh, that's committed early.
I was about to say, I don't know if that was the best timing to use it, especially because the Meteor M comes out immediately. The backline deleted by the Endsong Infernal, and it seems like Grizz Maroon are in for the pain train being unleashed by GCU Purple. Got a mischief used by Sneaky Raptor, and they will have their own end game now here for them to move on with the map win. And Grizz Maroon, again, the timing of the ultimate's not on lock, unfortunately for them. They gave it their all, but GCU Purple, the counter pick, worked in their favor.
I'm speechless. That cloak ult from Grizz Maroon at the end, ASOC had Meteor M. That was the only Meteor M that landed on a cloak, by the way.
That's
Every
so
single one from Olive or ASOC whiffed. Like, it didn't land, or not whiffed, but it didn't land on the cloak, even though it was used sometimes for it. So the fact that ASOC can come in a big clutch play, but also I just don't agree with Attorney copying and using it so early. They still had a lot of time. Also didn't even really attempt to try to go into a building. Head scratcher play for Grizz Maroon, but it's going to allow GCU Purple to come away with a win here. 2-1 so far in the best of 5. Next map could be the final map for GCU Purple and Grizz Maroon.
Yeah, it could be the last one. Grizz Maroon need to force that map 5, but hey, we've had some great series here today, Shibby. That's all I like to note here so far. I mean, great looks during that first series. We almost saw a map 5 towards the end of it, but Stevenson proved to be the better squad, able to get that 0% against 99 and come back for the victory on domination. Maybe that's something we'll see here for the side of Grizz Maroon, but the problem was that they looked weak, I have to say it, against this GCU Purple team on domination. So maybe it'll depend on the map and the composition on how things will change there. Yeah, Convergence looked really good for them, but it sounded like they were choosing domination for this specific one coming up. So a couple different options they could go for. Can't do Burn T'Challa. I think we saw earlier that Hell's Heaven was banned as well, so we likely won't see that either. So there's only so many options that they can go for. Krakoa probably is what we'll likely see from them this time. I mean, I don't know. There's only so many options that they can go for, and I just worry for this Grizz Maroon team, especially because they have such like high highs and such low lows. And yeah, we go to Krakoa.
Krakoa.
No one's gonna play Celestial Husk if they have to.
Yeah, and then what does that leave, right? You don't really have a lot of choices, like you mentioned, unfortunately.
We need more dom
maybe
maps.
we get it. Yeah, that's what I say. Maybe we get a domination map in Season 7. That would be kind of sick. Actually, we probably will for whatever theme it is. We haven't gotten a dom map in a while. Because the reason is, fun fact, they didn't release a dom map for a while is because they gave us Resource Rumble. Right, that was like their domination.
You know what? I also heard in the rumor mill that Virtus Pro were trying to have that played at the grand finals. Is the funniest thing. Yeah. Can you imagine if we had a Resource Rumble at the grand final?
Dude, that'd be dope. That'd be dope. That'd be so funny. Resource Rumble is such a wacky game mode. I'm actually kind of happy that Rivals took it out. I think they're gonna look. They said they're gonna rework it.
Rework it, yeah.
18. I've heard in the rumor mill they're gonna try to make it like an 18 versus 18 map, which that sounds hilarious, chaotic, hectic, and it's another game mode for the Marvel Rivals casual audience to enjoy. But hopefully we get a domination map in Season 7. But enough about Season 7. Let's talk about Season now as we see GCU Purple and Grizz Maroon coming in. Expecting any ban changes?
Yeah, Season 6 instead of Season 7 here, Shibby?
Nope. No, that's exactly what I was avoiding. That's exactly what I was avoiding.
I know you said 5 and then 7 earlier to avoid that. I was picking that up, Shibby. I knew exactly what you're doing. But we also know exactly what GCU Purple is going to do every time. They're going to ban Vanpool.
Yeah. I mean,
Loki save again.
Yeah,
that's the difference maker for them too, is the Loki. Like they have a better Loki player.
I mean, Grizz Maroon could also, we had our reservations about this domination pick, but retrospectively, right? They were playing like Hulk thing. Like they weren't playing the best heroes. And I think Grizz Maroon kind of realizes as well, like, hey, if we just ban out Groot, pick what we're good at, I'm sure it's a difference maker. Maybe they pick Thor in remembrance for your mug. Jesus, it's just so. It's like bigger than your head, which is crazy.
Yeah,
right? Like
it's pretty big. I got it from a Ren fair,
dude. Of course. No, are you
Got-
sure you
it's
didn't
got
get
a
it from,
D20 on
from Throne Room? You didn't get it from
Where-
Throne Room?
there
Oh
it
yeah. Okay, there you go. Nice. Okay.
It's leather and everything too. It's pretty dope.
It's
back
really
to the game
well
though.
built.
Yeah, pretty well built.
Back to the game.
Magneto saved again.
Thong
Honestly,
not
I
being
feel like
here.
it might have been a better option for them to save the Emma. They did better on the Emma. Banning the Mantis, I think, is a good idea though. Mantis was doing
Yeah.
really good for GCU Purple on that last one.
Both teams, right? Both
Yeah.
teams. GCU Purple really opting in for some of those triple strat compositions. That's a good ban. I mean, now you force Grizz Maroon onto Magneto, which Olive actually was playing a really good Magneto. Like,
Yeah.
don't get it twisted. ASOC landing those, I mean, arguably very clutch back-to-back Meteor M's in overtime, right? Both on the offense and defense. That doesn't take away from Olive dropping, like, I think 18 finals or something like that. Some crazy number.
What is
on
happening
the Magneto
with these compositions? Oh yeah,
Strange
the
not
Emma
banned,
was
though.
banned. Not the Emma. The Rogue was banned before, so potential for Olive to play that this time and change
Yeah.
things up. So I like it. Man, we were
I
in
thought-
the back rooms there for a second.
Where it's like that dev room or like the
Yeah.
the in the old games where they have it like it's all like the
That's where
test
everything
room or
spawns
whatever.
in from. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it feels like as
Oh man,
no
I'm
way
actually
ASOC is
surprised they didn't try to
legitimately
ban
playing
Hella
this.
Namor at all because like how good that has been against this Grizz Maroon team, especially like we saw in Domination. Like they were the server admins.
I think GCU Purple want to go for a kidnap. I saw ASOC swap over to the Penny, but I think they're opting against it. I would like to see an early portal commit from Giamura.
Yeah, I think Giamura is gonna portal.
Yeah,
Excuse me.
I actually way more enjoy, and I actually love the early portal commits because if the round goes long enough, you do just get it back.
That's true. Yeah. Giamura was taking their time, but it doesn't look like they're portaling anymore. So maybe they canceled it after seeing that they weren't all kind of going in the same area. No, they just didn't use it. They're just going straight up Doctor Strange here. I mean, it's a good time to prepare for the new patch with Invisible Woman and Doctor Strange. If you want to practice it, this is the time to do it. Still good as like a main tank, in my opinion as well. So keep it going. Do what you can.
Yeah, Emma's not in the game either, and
That
Thing
too.
is
Yeah,
banned
Emma's a
as
good
well,
counter
too.
against her.
Yeah, so like Strange just kind of feasts here. Although Grizz Maroon running a dive composition, Sneaky Raptor and Rainfall have to be somewhat, observant of where these divers are, right? Tracking Sticks, tracking Hikari. You can very easily lose track of everything if Olive's, beating your backline in and you have no clue where Venom's diving from.
I'm curious who she's going to target in terms of like the ability steal as well. Like if they're going to focus more on like a strategist or a duelist so that they can't really do as much on that time, right? Stick's already getting taken out though, so that's a little bit more one-sided for GCU Purple, especially if the ultimate's in their favor. No Elim's off of it that time though, so a bit of a moot point. And Lychee though getting targeted by Anti and Nayunara.
Nice.
That's what I was worried about with this dive comp because both of these strategists are going to get focused so much easier than what you would typically see.
No shield, right? Olive's opting in for the Rogue.
Yeah.
And like you said, yeah, you called it early. Hella Namor is still available for GCU, so if you give that up to Agent Alpha and Anti, even if they don't have the Strangling Prison to combo, they're just really good fundamental heroes, right?
Very good fundamental heroes. They've been around in the game for such a long time and gotten better with age, as we've seen with the team-ups, we've seen with the buffs that have happened. I mean, didn't Hella recently get a buff just to the way that they used their Raven to escape? So there's a couple of different things that have come through the woodwork there. And the solo Namor buffs that we saw even made them better with the team-up now. So a bit more unique in of themselves. But Grizz Maroon, they got the first percentage to a decent level, but they haven't been able to do much since then.
You've captured more than half of the mission area. Keep going.
Yeah, we'll see. Giamura, Eye of Agamotto available. Nayunara has to save the Force Physics, which is actually getting nerfed next patch. Thank God. Dive
Yeah.
is maybe slightly better.
It's just a cooldown
into-
for it, though, right?
Yeah, it's 10 seconds now instead of 8, so that makes it more intentional. Dive comes in from Hikari, slamming face first into GCU, but they've got 5 ults available in their bank here, and looks like Sneaky Raptor is going to be the first one to copy. Eternal Bonds afloat. Let's see if ASOC can land this. Attorney does throw down the Ensong Inferno, sticks as well, drops down to the butterfly. Anti's going to force into his Goddess of Death, and it doesn't matter because once you throw the Eye of Agamotto on top, Anti, it's like shooting fish in a barrel for him.
Nothing that Grizmaroon can do here. This is Infinity War, and unfortunately they have lost the battle. Thanos has snapped them to pieces, and they cannot get back to the objective. They're going to have to regroup and move through the portal together afterwards for the Grove if they want to turn things around. But last time, we saw them give it their all. Unfortunately, lost the last team fight. And GCU Purple just has their number on these domination maps.
Yeah, again, we were surprised that Grizmaroon opted in for domination, but I just think the mentality was like, hey, we played bad heroes. So if we just play good heroes, or we play a comp that we practiced, it's probably going to end up turning better. But GCU, just picking good stuff, right? Like sometimes all it takes is just picking the better heroes, and Magneto's S tier, Hela and Namor probably S tier, and I would argue Cloak and Loki S tier, if not A tier, at least one of them. So, yeah. I mean, GCU just playing really, really good heroes, and Grizmaroon have to work a lot harder for the same result.
I like how they're kind of matching a little bit more here as well. That's a big thing too. Olive's held on to that Heartbreaker for a long time, if I'm not mistaken, so we'll see if that comes into play. They'll have to use it to try and just get rid of some of the strategist ultimates of GCU Purple, just based on the timing. I'm assuming that they've been doing the ult tracking for their team just based on experience, with the timings and all that in competitive play. And you talked about how they've been probably playing in some scrims in the past as well. So something to look out for on when they proc their ultimate. But the big thing is GCU Purple. They seem to be having a high ground approach of this.
GCU taking high ground, looking to force something out here. Eternal Bond does get used from Rainfall. Hikari goes down to Giamura as well, so that's a big ult being removed. Eye of Agamotto. Olive ends up opting in for the Heartbreaker, but not really able to get too deep into the enemy backline, so you're not as tanky as you'd like, and pretty much a wasted rogue ult there.
That's been the difficulty with this Grizmaroon roster, is timing of ultimates. We saw it great on Central Park, but I think a lot of that had to do because GCU Purple just had no synergy. And now that they've found their rhythm, there hasn't been anything that has taken them out of their halfway to victory. Good looks on the way that Olive was comboing there for a moment, and I love the Eye of Agamotto here. They are able to get at least a couple of picks, but will it be enough is the question mark. They do get some percentage from GCU Purple, but that's really a first team fight win for Grizmaroon.
They burned 3 ults there, right? Eternal Bond, Hona Proteus, and Eye of Agamotto all to secure that. I don't necessarily agree with it, but Styx does have Goddess of Death, and Neunara, obviously Invisible Boundary available, can look to counter Giamura. But Agent Alpha, if this Eye of Agamotto lands and Agent Alpha throws this Horn of Proteus on top, it could be tough here. Sneaky Raptor already goes with the copy. Eternal Bond comes in, looking to lay the carpet down for their team. Neunara forced to match. Eye of Vishanti unfortunately does not land, but it doesn't matter.
Ooh,
big Horn of
whale.
Proteus. Yeah, lands on the 4. Still no elims confirmed here. Look at Anti, though. Has opted in. And once again, how is he doing this?
They had a Doctor Strange, but the Strange was in no man's land, in the mirror dimension, stuck looking from the other end of a two-way mirror and could not get up in time. So a tough spot to be in. Heartbreaker wasted again for Grizmaroon at the last moment. So GCU Purple, Fear Magneto, ASOC taunting the competition.
Yeah, it's my favorite spray. That's from the new skin. That's from the new skin. The fact that ASOC's not using it is diabolical, but yeah, it's one of the few animated stickers.
I don't believe they're allowed to. I could be wrong.
Oh? No, I don't. Doctor Strange has a different skin on. No, there's no way they're not allowed to.
That's true.
Yeah, ASOC just too much aura. Says, I don't need a skin. As Juicy Giamura with that Eye of Agamotto charging up at about 10%. Rainfall has Eternal Bond. ASOC potentially looking for a medium M onto Olichi. Sticks forced to ult because they got really low. This thing's going to go down relatively quickly at 22 HP still. Doesn't go down. Rainfall commits the Eternal Bond. And like clockwork, Magneto comes in, unfortunately. Not charged up enough, so does not get the Elim. Hikari whiffs the Eye of Agamotto, I believe. Yeah, unable to get anybody. Still, Giamura goes down. Attorney as well commits alongside their team and are going to flip the point here.
Not as dire straits as we saw the last domination for Grismaroon, but again, they've had to use so many resources to get the point every time, and GCU Purple have been content with holding on to their ultimates till when they need to use them. So we'll see Sneaky Raptor use probably the Eternal Bond copy from the God of Mischief to get onto the objective. And then Giamura finds some way to combo with that Horn of Proteus, like we saw last time. I'm really liking the way that they position themselves after they lose the team fight. They build up their ultimate just enough. They're like, okay, we can get back to spawn. We might drop a couple members here and there, but ultimately we didn't have to give up as much as they did to get into this scenario. So really comes down to how much percentage Grismaroon can secure before GCU Purple take things to task, and that's an actual huge elimination on the Giamura.
Yeah, Hikari having their number. Olive opting in for the Fear. Magneto looking for someone else because the bubble came in. Anti once again trying to shoot fish in a barrel. Takes down the Eunora through the invisible boundary. So Grismaroon are just going to lose this point.
They got to get onto the objective as quickly as they can. Eye of Agamotto came out, but was completely blocked by the strange shield. TP is not going to be there in time. I don't think someone needs to touch
they don't touch
at the last second, and it will be GCU Purple taking the series in stride. They dropped the second map, but did not matter. They proved to be the stronger team, and they will be the ones as the ultimate victors.
Wow, GCU taking the 3-1 victory over Grismaroon. Very well played. Good team play from GCU overall here. Sneaky Raptor getting the MVP, but I mean, individual members from GCU were able to step up normally. Born to tank DPS, forced to support. Unlucky for Sneaky Raptor. But hey,
worked out.
What you got to do to get the win.
No.
Right?
Exactly. I mean, again, looking at the difference here, Anti was the difference maker. You can't allow Hela Namor to go that easily into a great Hela, right? We saw them be less effective on the Phoenix, honestly, and then they realized, oh, I can just play Hela Namor. They did that in the last map. They did that in this map. There was no contest. And looking back at the bans and protects from these two, I think the group made sense. The Mantis, yeah, but you did really good on the Mantis yourself for the side of Grismaroon, so I think you more nerfed yourself than nerfed the other team, and getting rid of the Hela would have been a difference maker instead. So that just goes to show how important the ban and protect phase really is against certain compositions and certain teams. There's only so much you can ban, of course, and it wasn't wholly because of that, but I'd say that was a big part of why they weren't able to come out with the win in terms of Grismaroon. Also, just some great plays from GCU Purple.
Yeah, I mean, really good match, though. I think a lot of people are going to look at the box score and be like, oh, you know, Grismaroon only took a map because they got lucky. But, you know, a couple team fights go a different way, like you mentioned, or a couple, you know, certain aspects of the game go differently. And Grismaroon are looking at a tie game, if not potentially a map 5 here. So, really well played. I liked what GCU Purple were bringing to the arena here. And a team that I'm going to watch a little bit more closely. I think a lot of us, obviously we built the narrative, Olive's a pro player, or, you know, she's a semi-pro, whatever you want to call it. But GCU Purple just showing up with better team play, and it kind of proving that, hey, just because there's a very high-ranked player on the enemy team doesn't mean you as a squad cannot overcome that.
That's true. That's true. Unfortunate, too, as we had one of the interns for NECC on that squad as well. But again, it was great to showcase their skill throughout this tournament. Thank you to both the teams here and the ones before for even agreeing to be on broadcast. There's still more matches to be streamed in the future weeks, so please let our admin team know if you are part of the NECC Collegiate in any of the games if you want your matches to be streamed, so we can put those on the broadcast, because we want to stream people who want to be streamed, right? That's why we're putting on all of these shows throughout the weeks of competition. But yeah, it's been great to see the different games that have been put on it through so far. Rocket League and CS2 are tomorrow. League of Legends on Thursday, and Overwatch No 2 now on Friday. I forgot about that because the changes. Yeah, we're back into the past. It's only Overwatch from here on out. But yeah, it's been a great time to be here with you, Shibby. Any final thoughts before we send things away?
I mean, just really, really happy to get to cast NECC with you. I think I'm on next week and the week after.
Yeah.
Dude, no, I'm never getting a break. Everybody's
Mr.
gonna get sick of
now.
seeing me. Yeah, pretty much. I mean, Keg, unfortunately, busy. I'm more than willing to take up the cause here, so I'll be back on next week. Yeah, he's an actor, which is really cool, and I'll be back on with CB next week. Still, Vodible, we got more games than me and CB did last week. At least
true.
The opposed 3.
We
So,
didn't get our map
first kinda
5,
living.
unfortunately, that we were hoping for. We got close though, so
We got close
next
a couple
time.
times.
Yeah,
That's maybe because I was a little
it's
sick.
fun.
That's why. That's why I was
That could
depowered.
be it. Yeah.
Wasn't as full strength, unfortunately. So yeah, but yeah, super fun.
Oh,
Shout outs
man.
to every college team that competed, like you said. And yeah, I'll be back next week. Come stick around for more NECC action. Vodible, just take us out, man.
Yeah. Shout out to always bet on ASUC is what the chat is saying on that. Shout out to GCU Purple for the victory there. Shout out to our production team in the background, Adam, that we had, Ramen, and then we had Kihana also helping, or Kiana, I think that's what it is, helping in the back end too, subbing in for Reach, who is busy today. So it's been a great time to be here on the NECC broadcast, and make sure you tune into more of the action. Follow the channel for more games in the collegiate sphere in just a bit.